Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Marvel Talk. I am, of course, Ed Fries, and I'm joined by my Marvel Talk tag team partner, the one and only Andre C. And Andre, you don't have a funny name today. What happened?
I didn't think to write one.
And Andre, would you please introduce our special guest?
So joining us here, straight from the comment section, usually at the end of a lot of our shows, is my boy, my person, one of my best friends in the world. A man I've known for close to 10 years now. Through Expo, then wrestling, and just one of my best friends in the world. It's the humanoid freak, Andreas. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's been 10 years already. Jesus Christ, I've known you for too long. I gotta stop being friends with you. Yeah.
Close to, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't stop. No, more
And I go by the humanoid now. The freak is over, but still a freak at heart, I guess.
Well, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And we're here to talk about, we're finally here, the superhero team-up movie that they teased at the first Comic-Con that MCU was doing when they were talking about doing their own movies, and they were talking about Iron Man. Kevin Feige had teased that if you put the movies that they're planning on making together, that it equals the Avengers. So we're here in 2012. We're finally here, the Avengers. May 4th release date for this movie. I remember seeing this in theaters. I think this was the first that I was opening night, midnight showing for the MCU. I think this was my first midnight showing MCU movie. What about you guys?
Andres?
I think I went to see it 2 days later because I knew how absolutely batshit. Sorry about swearing about there.
You good?
Okay. Totally batshit insane lineups because, like, man, I used to work in the theater back in the day, and like, Jesus, man. When these movies came out, it would be crazy, and I would go watch it like 3 days later. Not in the place where I work, because I'm not going to go there. I went to a really low-end theater, like one of those cheap theaters we used to have here.
Yeah,
I did the same thing. There's a place out here we have called Chunky's. It's a cinema movie pub.
Okay.
What it is they have these long tables, like these banquet-style tables. And they pulled out car seats, Lincoln Continental leather reclinable car seats. And they sit like 4 to 6 to a table.
Okay.
And you have these little light up buzzers that you can press, and it alerts the staff that you need something, and they come over and they have an entire menu: appetizers, entrees, desserts, beer, wine, you name it, they've got it. And it's a full stop theater. But the reason why I love going there is because should I choose not to partake in the food, the tickets are like, matinee showings are like $5. Evening showings are like $8.
Yeah, that's
about it. Yeah.
Not do that.
That's a place that makes their money on their food, not on their tickets. Yeah, I think I saw this movie I don't think it was a day one movie like I do all the time now. And yeah, I went to see it like a couple days after, just because that point in my life I was working out of town. I probably wasn't even home when it came out. I probably went and saw it like as soon as I got home, most likely. But yeah, it's one of those movies that I knew I saw it as soon as I could, but I didn't go opening night.
Yeah.
I went to see it with a friend, and all I remember saying to him was like, I just want to see what Mark Ruffalo does as Bruce Banner because I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's we'll start. We're going to start right there because that's where I was planning on starting. We normally talk about the cast and how well they do. We know most of the cast at this point. Most of the cast are returning members that we've seen in some way, shape, or form in some other movies, except for Mark Ruffalo coming in now as Bruce Banner's Hulk, taking over for Edward Norton from the 2018 The Incredible Hulk movie.
Edward Norton wasn't that bad of a Hulk, man.
He was terrible. He wasn't terrible that bad. Bruce Banner. Terrible. No.
The thing was Edward Norton wanted to be more Bruce Banner and less Hulk. That's what, yeah.
No. Again, he wanted to like script approval on this movie and shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck that guy. Let Joss Whedon do what he wants.
He was gonna be in the movie. He was in the panels, but they replaced him.
They did. They did.
Yeah. He might be.
Oh, talking about it says, I'm a friend of Ed's, and yeah, that wasn't a great way that all went down. But the way I see it, that Ed has bequeathed this part to me. I look at it as my generation's Hamlet. That's an exact quote from Mark Ruffalo when discussing the character.
Oh, okay.
Which I think makes sense.
He did a great job, though, is what I gotta say.
I can't unsee him as the Hulk now. Like,
yeah, he is the
watch
Hulk.
These movies now. Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk. Hello, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Just like Don Cheadle is Rhodey instead of the other guy.
Yep. I was never a Terrence Howard guy. Like, I thought he was fine as Rhodey and Iron Man, but Don Cheadle there's a special. Andre and you and I talked about this in the Iron Man one. There was a missing link. Like, they're supposed to be best friends. Like, him and Rhodey are supposed to be tight, and it just felt like there was this professional-ish friendship between him and Terrence Howard. But when it's him and Cheadle, there just seems to be so much more genuine friendship on screen between the two of them, personality-wise.
They actually have that banter going on.
Yeah.
Again, I feel. Again, we said in the like, I have no issue myself with Terrence Howard. I like Terrence Howard as an actor. I liked him on Empire. I liked him in a lot of stuff. I watched him, and getting to see, but seeing him replaced didn't bother me. And I thought Rhodey does a phenomenal job as
Rhodey. Yeah,
as Rhodey. Yeah, he does it. It's a great replacement. So.
Yeah, it is a fantastic replacement. Oh, we got Ophelia Payne jumping in the chat. Look at all these handsome on screen. I mean, obviously here, I'll we can fix that and pull me off screen and go ahead and get the handsome on.
Ophelia, thank you so much for joining, sir. Our friend Ophelia goes to all the local independent wrestling shows with us. Thank you so much for showing up here. We love you.
I know her as a great friend in the Mike the Ref streams over there when he just finished up his AEW watch along. Right now, he's probably playing some My GM mode, if I know his schedule correctly. So
probably,
hopefully he's enjoying some of that.
He's into that My GM mode.
Yeah.
I love my GM mode,
and I gotta thank Mike, because Mike's the one that introduced us to brought Ophelia to our friend group. So, and I know she's a big fan of Astrid. So
she is. The two of them are already Ophelia, Astrid. Yes, they're getting on.
Astrid, Ophelia.
So let's go ahead and start this movie where this movie starts at. I like how, right off the bat, they introduced this movie in an entirely different way than anything we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
They start in on the Tesseract, and you hear the voice of my favorite character in this movie, the Other.
Is that actually his name? The Other?
The Other. It's literally his name.
Okay.
For those that don't know who I'm talking about, if you look directly to the right of Humanoid, you can see the Other trying to palm at Humanoid's head right now.
It's like, I'm coming for you with his like 6 fingers.
Yeah, he's a servant of Thanos. There are 6 fingers on that finger. It's really weird, and you only notice it when people point it out to you. You never notice it on your own. It's only
6 fingers. Where does this? I see 5. No, 4. Never mind. I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. There's 4. Well, technically, there's 4 fingers and 2 thumbs,
and then 2 thumbs. You go ahead, and he starts talking about how the Tesseract is on Earth, and they've found a worthy person that they can go ahead and send to Earth to gain the Tesseract. And they've promised him the Earth if he gives them the Tesseract. Who's them? We don't quite know yet.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Spoilers.
We see this ominous figure behind a rock. Later on, will be revealed to this ominous figure. What did you guys think of the opening for this?
Again, it gave cool little stakes to the movie. You're like, "Ooh, what's the Tesseract going to do here?" How it kind of follows up on. And you're again, when I remember seeing it, I'm like, "Ooh, how's this going to play in?" And I like that. And it's like, who are they setting up? And well, I guess if you watched the trailers going in, you knew who they were setting up, kind of. But yeah, I liked it.
I was like, watching it rewatching it today, like at first, like it gave me goosebumps, and I seriously thought this was Ebony Maw for a second, but it's not. But it's like some other guy, and yeah, like you said, his name is the Other. Like, don't know much about him, but hey, he's here. But he has a great voice.
An obscure comics character that not many people know. Alexis Denisov is the person who plays the Other in this movie. He's known for being the Other in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
He was in that one?
He's apparently in that one. I don't even remember him in that one. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't remember him at all in that one.
He was also the voice of Mirror Master in Justice League Doom. And he's also Wesley Wyndham Pierce from 100 episodes of the Angel TV show.
Oh, him. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Badass Wesley. Okay.
I just looked at his face and I'm like, oh, okay, I know who this man is.
Oh, I know who he is. He started out like a bitch in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, then went to Angel and became the legend that he is in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's married to Allison Hannigan too. So lucky bastard.
Oh, lucky guy.
Very, very lucky man.
Yeah.
We then get into the S.H.I.E.L.D. portion of this movie, which I think is something that was... So when Kevin Feige, Andre, when we talked about the MCU and we did our first MCU Rebound, we talked about how they had movies planned when they got the money from
Paramount.
Paramount produced the movies, but they borrowed money from a bank. I forget what the bank's name is, but they borrowed the money. One of the movies that we were supposed to get was a Nick Fury-led movie that was going to based around S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I remember that. They were supposed to do that.
And they never ended up doing it because they ended up getting the rights to put the Hulk kind of in the MCU. They managed to be able to go ahead and get Iron Man because that wasn't in the original plans. Mm-hmm. Because Iron Man was at that time still with New Line Cinema. And then New Line botched everything that they were supposed to do with it, and they couldn't produce the movie. So then it came back to the Marvel Entertainment people. And
it was a mess. It's a mess. The rights to it, it's a mess.
They're a lot simpler now. Universal still owns the rights to the Hulk, and everything else now is within Marvel.
Except for Spider-Man.
Soon. Hopefully.
I hope so. Maybe someday.
Sony will always have Spider-Man.
Also, Nick Fury, if you count, which is not part of the MCU, there was a Nick Fury, was David Hasselhoff back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how badly I want to see a multiverse movie and have the Hoff show up as a version of Nick Fury.
Yes, I need that. That.
He's good.
I think Secret Wars is going to play on a lot of fun and nostalgia. I think we're going to get all kinds of weird and crazy shit in that movie.
I want to see is... Sorry, I just have to say it. What I want to see is that 1989 Fantastic Four thing that never made it to the big screen. They just screwed all the actors. Show them one time on there.
But we get to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Operation Pegasus. This is the other stages of Operation Pegasus, which we will talk about when we talk about Captain Marvel. But this is the NASA, S.H.I.E.L.D., U.S. Air Force multi-group thing where they're going ahead to figure out how to make the Tesseract a power source. And we're introduced to Clark Gregg. We're introduced to Colby Smuthers. We're reintroduced to Stellan Skarsgård, who thankfully is back on our TV screens again, playing the role of Dr. Eric Selvig. Jeremy Renner finally gets a couple more speaking lines in this movie. Not many more, but a few more.
Yeah, a few.
What I don't get about this with Stellan Skarsgård is what his character, like, what was the other one where the end credits looks like it was low key possessing him, but apparently he wasn't. What's that? What's up with that?
So that was the end credits to the event to Captain America.
Yeah,
I believe it is. Or is it Thor?
Captain America, I believe.
I think it's
Captain America that leads into this.
Yeah.
And it's just Loki being just saying the same thing he's saying. He's not really there. It's kind of this whole, like, he's looking in to let us know that he's not gone.
Oh, okay, because that confused me so much.
At this point, people were really irritated that Loki was killed off. Because as far as we knew, Loki was dead at the end of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of their sneaky little way of telling us that we're going to get more Tom Hiddleston. And thank God that we got more Tom Hiddleston.
Mm-hmm.
He's out here saving the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now.
He's there holding all the branches.
He pops in and he's doing his best. He's still doing his Shakespeare here.
Oh yeah.
Where he's, his Loki at this point still hasn't developed yet. It's still this wonderful Shakespearean character. And he threatens Nick Fury with the famous ant boot line.
Mm-hmm.
You're an ant, and I am the boot. Are you threatening us? Just such a fantastic line.
Yeah.
A big part of that is the way like Samuel L. Jackson plays off of Hiddleston, and they have just such this great chemistry back and forth. It's so good.
Yep. We then lead to him using the staff to possess both Clint Barton and Dr. Eric Selvig, and they go ahead and basically turn on S.H.I.E.L.D. and they shoot Nick Fury, who thankfully has a tactical vest on.
That plot armor, though. That plot armor.
Yeah. Always gotta have plot armor.
Yes.
Just in case. Especially when you're Nick Fury, man.
Oh, yeah.
That man's made a living off of having plot armor.
Oh,
he does it again in Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Where he gets a lightsaber in the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's like that happened. It's like, yeah, he's not dead. Then he shows up and it's like, I knew it.
I truly believe Mace Windu never died.
Yep.
Mace Windu got resurrected into Nick Fury.
I'd love to see that thing come back in the final, in the final moments of Secret Wars, and he does it again. It lights up, and it's this big purple beam.
It gives a slick smile.
And he just smiles. We then have the chase scene with Colby Smulders trying to chase after Clint Barton and them, and then Loki and Barton get away. There's a little bit of an action scene here, but they just get away.
Yeah, small little chase scene. Yeah, I liked it.
It was a fun chase scene, but there was nothing really to it.
It was a great chase scene, but I found it kind of funny that Loki is in the back and he's just driving along trying to be all menacingly, and they're chasing after him. It was. Yeah. I just found that hilarious.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
And then we're going to do this a couple times in this, but we're going to go to the visuals because I love having my visuals. We have the general here who's going ahead and trying to threaten a tied-up Natasha. Now, the MCU knew exactly what they needed to do after that hallway fight scene with her in Iron Man 2, which is tie her up and put her on a chair.
Fan service.
Yep. Yeah. There is no plot reason why she's tied to a chair with rope when they have a perfectly good hook right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly good hook right here. But no, they've tied her to a chair.
Yeah.
Don't tell me there wasn't a rational reason in the Marvel Studios about why we tied her to a chair.
Hey, can we get Scarlett Johansson tied up in a chair for the scene? She will? She can do it? All right, let's do it.
I do like that this sets up her character in a more interesting way because it gives us that tie to Clint Barton that's going to have to play throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't mentioned it to this point, so we don't know about it. So this scene solely sets that portion up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They also have the fun line where she's on the phone with
Agent Coulson.
Clark Gregg, Agent Coulson, and he goes, "All right, you've got the big guy." She's like, you know, Stark doesn't trust me as far as he can throw me. He's like, "No, I've got Stark. You've got the big guy." And she just looks into the camera and just looks into the distance and goes, "Oj moi," which means "oh my God" in Russian.
Yeah, I think everybody can figure that one out.
Yeah, what other big guy is there? Robert Downey Jr. I mean, Iron Man, Tony Stark isn't the big guy. I think automatically the Hulk.
Yeah. Because again, Thor's not on the radar, so it's definitely Hulk.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hulk, we then get Hulk in India, out of the way, trying to just do his thing so that nothing bad happens and that we don't have to worry about what's going on. And he gets lured away by this little girl who says that her dad's sick and she has money. and they run her into this random building where there's nobody in the building, and she runs out the window. And Banner, and again, this is the moment where I instantly knew that Mark Ruffalo was perfect for this role. Because his line, you should have got paid up front, Banner.
Also, he played it perfectly right before he got in, because before they're crossing the street, he stops a girl and like the army rides by, and he's like all paranoid because he's like done this before.
Yeah,
I love that because he got the little things down because like he's been through this before.
Well, and again, it shadows so much. It shows so much of him just trying to avoid the strike team of Norton's avoiding the strike team, and things like that. And that's his paranoia in his head. I really like that.
Yeah, it showed instantly that Mark Ruffalo understood
the assignment
character that he needs to be playing as Banner. We'll talk about the Hulk later, but as Banner, I think Mark Ruffalo gets it, and he's more believable in the sciencey aspect, as we'll see when him and Tony get side by side. Oh, it's a match made in heaven.
Oh god,
best friends.
I couldn't my brain can't even imagine Ed Norton in that scene now.
Yeah,
it Ruffalo, and again, Ruffalo has become the character, right? So, but again, it's just the banter and how good Ruffalo is and how naturally smooth and charismatic the guy is. That's what makes me such a big fan of him. Yeah.
Speaking of banter, there's this wonderful banter between Natasha and Ruffalo in this scene between Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff, where he's like, oh, it's just us. And she's like, yep, just me and you. Nobody's here. And he scares her, like he yells at her like he's going to turn on the Hulk. And she pulls out the gun. He's like, no, stop. I was just testing you. And then she looks at everything and she goes at everything and she's like, all right, everybody stay back. It's like, just us, huh? And she's like, well, I'm coming.
And it shows the army backing up. It was so good.
Yes. Also, did you notice this little thing before that happened? Like when they first meet each other and they're going like, I don't get all that I want. And Mark and Bruce Banner just goes over to the baby crib and looks at it. It's like, yeah, I don't get everything I want either. Because he wants a kid, but he can't because the Hulk and all that. And that's the little things like that Mark Ruffalo does. It's like, Jesus.
And again, it's knowing what these two characters would go on to be to each other in later installments. And then watching the Black Widow movie, knowing that she was sterilized. And just all the weird just the crazy amount of foreshadowing it does to going forward to what would become. You look at those small, like the baby thing, it's so cool. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we talk about foreshadowing. This is one of the smaller cases of foreshadowing that we'll see in this movie, because I saw an internet thing, and I don't know if I know I showed it to Andre, but I don't know if Andre showed it to Andreas. But Marvel ruins the entirety of Phase 2 in one scene in this movie. Not ruins as in, like, they make it bad, but they go ahead and they tell you the entirety of what's going to happen in Phase 2 in one small scene in this movie.
We'll talk about it.
I think I know what you're talking about, but you got to remind me.
It's in the lab. It's in the lab.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
This is the scene that Andreas is talking about right here. We have Natasha talking to Ruffalo. And I believe now he's going to start rocking the crib. Come on.
It's
rock that crib.
It's right there next to him. Is that wouldn't be right there?
Yeah. But it plays to that. And it's great foreshadowing for each character, knowing that both people in their own way have lost a portion of their humanity for different reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. And I love how the beginning of this is literally just assembling the Avengers.
Yes.
Because we then see Nick Fury meeting with Steve Rogers, who seemingly in the middle of the night is up because he can't sleep because he feels like he slept enough already for the last, 60 plus years that he was asleep. He's replaying the history of what we've seen in the Captain America movie, the very end of that movie, in his head as he's boxing against a bag, and he ends up hitting the bag across the gym. And so he goes and he grabs another bag because he has a line of them there because he apparently does this often.
Obviously.
Does it. Yeah.
One-handed just hangs up the bag.
I love now that now Shield has to have a heavy bag or a punching bag budget now. Have a line item in their budget for punching bags now that Cap's alive.
Also, if you think about it, in the timeline wise, this is all happening in a week. Like Captain America just woke up a week ago because Monday he found Iron Man, Tuesday the Incredible Hulk, I think, Wednesday Thor, and then Captain America. So
And then Friday, everything the Avengers starts.
No, I think it's Thor, Captain America, and the beginning of the Avengers takes place.
Yeah,
Thor. I think
you just woke up. Is what I'm saying. Like a couple of days ago.
I think it's Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America all take place in Fury's big week. I believe it is.
Yeah, the big week of Nick Fury. So literally,
Fury's big week is if you can watch it. What they did for it, do it. Watch the Fury's big week. There's a thing they did.
What if all the Avengers died?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
And like I said, Captain America just woke up like 4 days ago. So yeah.
I think it would be months at this point because remember they've got Project Pegasus going full tilt, and they have Barton who says that he's got no IMs going in or out, so they would have had to have gotten him here.
Oh right.
Things like that. So I think the beginnings of all that take place, and then it's a little bit longer as this happens, because Coulson will also say that he watched him while he was sleeping.
Okay.
So
all right.
the thawing of Captain America would have taken time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the end of Thor, the movie Thor and the end of Captain America all take place in the same week, as well as I think Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We then have Tony and Pepper going ahead and putting the arc reactor to the test by having it go ahead and power the Stark Tower. And of course, we have
great. So every time, every bad guy, Stark has created a source for every bad guy in every movie he's goddamn in.
I know, right?
Fucker.
And then we have, I still think it is the greatest unsuiting sequence.
It's just utter perfection.
Yeah. They nailed, again, this is more to the case of why he was so perfectly cast, is that all he has to do is walk and quip.
Yes.
It's a perfect scene.
Yep. And also Robert Downey Jr. before Iron Man, he was a great actor to begin with. It's just that he had his problems from before. But Iron Man just revived his career, and he is Tony Stark, is all I can see, because he got it all down pat.
And again, he had such a performance that the comics changed the Iron Man character to look like Downey, to act more like Downey's Iron Man, Downey's version. That again, he did such a good job.
Same thing with Nick Fury. They got Samuel L. Jackson likeness to be in future Nick Fury projects in the cartoons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also have a great little scene here where him and Pepper talk about the responsibility of this project and who gets how much percentage of it. And he gives her not 50% like she would hope, but 12%.
Yep.
Which comes back to this great line as he's like, I thought we were when Coulson walks in on them and he's like, security breach. He just her. And they walk away as he's looking at it and they're trying to talk to each other. And he's like, I thought we were having a moment. She's like, I was having 12% of a moment.
Oh, violation.
He is such a good Pepper Potts.
Yes.
Like,
I hate the person. I hate the person, but goddamn, does she do a good job as
besides what Gwyneth Paltrow does in her life was that goo stuff that she does. She did a great Pepper Potts.
She did. She plays this role perfectly. She's like, you have homework. He's like, well, what if I... And she's like, what, if you finish? She's like, yeah. And she whispers something in his ear, and he gets this, like, gleeful look on his face. And it makes Coulson, like, for no reason. I have no idea why they thought to do this, but it's so great that he, like, looks away embarrassed at hearing nothing and only just looking at Tony's face.
Yeah, because he knows what is going to happen, because he was like, oh, my.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, cool, flash date. And it's such, like, I don't understand why Joss Whedon would think to have the camera on Coulson at that moment. But thank God they did. They got a great take from Clark Gregg there. And while we're here, before we get on to the helicarrier, let's talk a little bit about Joss Whedon. Because Joss Whedon's done some really great things in cinema, and Joss Whedon's done some things that people don't like. So let's talk about the Avengers, and let's talk about the Justice League.
Mhm.
One succeeded, one didn't.
One has great writing, storytelling. The other one is
The Justice League.
Justice League. They tried, but
How much of the failure of the Justice League should be attributed to Joss Whedon coming in late to that project to take over for Zack Snyder for obvious reasons? We're not going to talk about why they're here.
No.
But Zack Snyder took valid reasons to leave that movie in the middle of filming.
Yeah. Again,
his version of Justice League. Too much joking from Batman. God. I love Batman. Can you make him stop joking every 5 minutes?
Yeah, I again, you're especially when you had built a universe, like you remember Snyder built a certain version, a certain tone to his universe, and Whedon came in and was told to go, hey, make it lighter, make it Avengery. And he tried, and it didn't work. And then you eventually got Snyder's Justice League, which, while I think long, like too long,
4 hours.
But still, actually,
4+ hours.
Yeah,
yes,
a
4
much
minutes.
better, a much better story than Whedon's version that came out.
I'm going to put this out to you because yes, the director's cut 4-5 hour long version of the Justice League was fantastic. That was never going to be the movie that saw the light of day.
Yes.
No.
Even if he produced the movie from start to finish the exact way he wanted to, that movie would never have seen the light of the day the way it was in the Snyder Cut.
But could we have gotten a 2.5 to 3 hour version like
No, because Warner Brothers never would have done that. Warner Brothers wasn't going to give that movie more than 2 hours.
It's true.
So they kind of cut a lot from the Joss Whedon version.
But again, we didn't cut out a lot, but then what did he refilm? What did he put in that didn't? And there's a lot of stuff from that first Justice League movie that doesn't exist in the Snyder Cut because those were Whedon scenes. There was those Joss Whedon scenes. So again, it all depends. Again, when I went and saw Justice League in theaters, I'm like, okay, that was fine. When I came out of it, I didn't think like, oh God, I want more. But I went, okay, at least I got the Justice League. At least I got a Justice League movie.
Like it was enjoyable to watch. It's just the end battle. It's like it's an entire mess of CGI, and it was like I was getting such a headache looking at it.
Yeah. So again, you got to look at Whedon's past. He's an incredible storyteller. Look at Buffy. Look at Angel. Look at as much as I'm not a Firefly fan, it's a well-produced show. The movie Serenity.
Serenity.
Not a fan. It's a well-written and produced movie. Just all that Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Great short. Again, Dollhouse. Great series. Didn't last very long, but great series. He has had a lot of success. It's just when he was given the right project to spearhead from the beginning and build it himself, and they did it right.
Yeah.
And
like he likes to put
2 hours for the Justice League. The Justice League is a crisp 120.
Yeah. And like I said, like with Marvel, there are characters that joke around because that's their character, but DC is more kind of a serious kind of thing going on because you got Batman, Superman. Well, Flash is there. He can be like humorous at times, but quippy. But doing it with everybody in that movie, it's not the same. But that's just the nerd in me just saying things like that.
Last thing as we talk about the Justice League, your thoughts on Batfleck? Because I love Batfleck. I think he's great.
I enjoyed.
2 thumbs up. I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. If you watch, and again, it's a fucking terrible movie. You watch Daredevil. That is his audition for Batman. He is literally doing Batman as Daredevil. Is what he's doing. He's doing a blind Batman. is what he's doing. And then he took it and made it better when he got into BVS. And I thought I like Ben Affleck as Batman.
Best Batman. Best Batman. We've got 6 options. You've got Adam West, George Clooney, Michael Keaton, Batfleck, and Pat.
Pat? All right. That's a new one.
Pat, the newest, the Batman one.
Robert Pattinson, yeah. I say Michael Keaton because he was amazing. He truly was like, the way he does things here and there was the little
Val Kilmer. I'm sorry, 7. There's Kilmer as well.
Are we counting animated movies too, or no?
No, just the 7 live action things. I include the Adam West version because some people think he's the best Batman.
He had a movie. I gotta say Keaton, just because his.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
I don't like Batman Returns. Yep. I really don't. I'm not a fan of it. But again, you can't. It was Mike Keaton. He did some amazing shit there. So
I'm gonna say something crazy here. I'm gonna say something a little crazy. I really like. Granted, take the writing, take everything else out of it. As a pure Batman, like as a Bruce Wayne and a Batman combination, the best dual version of Batman is George Clooney.
Fuck no, it's Ben Affleck. If you look duo, it's Ben Affleck. But the best,
he is the most believable both Bruce Wayne and Batman of all of them. Because where everybody else fails is they don't fit the bill for both. And I think Clooney does a really good job of filling the bill of Batman with being the world's greatest detective.
But he's also the worst. It's also the worst portrayal of Batman, though.
I agree, but that's not his fault.
Arguably, yes, it is.
Studio than it does to him. We're moving on. Like I said.
Yeah.
We move on to continuing in the movie. We have the scene where Andreas is back. We're going to go ahead and bring him back in.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, he's back. He's alive.
Okay. You can pop it out as you need to. I'll just pull you out if we need to.
So, sorry, before we go move along, you said Ben Affleck. Like I said, I would like to note that Ben Affleck, he started out as a great actor, was Good Will Hunting, but then he started doing some terrible stuff. Reindeer Games, Paycheck, Daredevil. Then
The Exception, Jersey Girl, great movie. Great
never
movie.
seen that one.
The View. Wait. You also can't exclude his View Askew stuff.
Yeah.
Then Dog Smith. Then Chasing Amy. Like, there's some really good stuff between there too.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
When he got announced as Batman, like I laughed so hard because like I'm going, how is this?
Well,
but
he
surprised the hell out of me though.
He just come off The Town and Argo, so you got to give him those 2 performances were absolutely stellar. And him,
he's a great director, and he became a great actor again. But Batman, he did a great job, especially with the voice.
Nike movie. He did a really good job with the Nike MJ movie just recently. If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it. But
look, it's not that bad. It's him and Matt Damon. It's a really decent version of trying to sign Michael Jordan to a Nike contract. It's the weirdest compilation of a movie, but it works.
Oh, that's my 2 cents on the whole Batfleck, because like I was not into it at first, but he roped me in. Like I enjoyed it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. So now we're on the Quinjet, and we have Coulson embarrassing himself in front of Captain America.
He's talking about his baseball cards and shit.
He's not quite talking about the baseball cards yet, but he's talking about how he feels like he knows him. He watched him while he slept, and then he steps it back and he goes, no. While you were thawing out, I was present when you were thawing out.
I was watching you sleep.
Yeah. And he talks about the new uniform, and he's like, well, isn't that going to be a little corny? And he's like, right now, America could do a little bit of corny. If you want to know what the uniform looks like, it's right here below me. That's the new Captain America for this movie. It's a beautiful Captain. It's one of my favorite Captain America outfits.
I'll say my favorite version of Captain America's outfit is probably from his first Avenger movie. I love the one where he's still got the combat pants on, but he's got I love that version of Cap. That's so cool. Yeah.
We also have our friend Throwback. What's good, guys? Keep kicking ass. Watching you guys while in bed. I look like a robot right now. Well, hopefully all the testing is going right and you're doing okay in the hospital. Keep me updated. I've been watching your Twitter page all day. Hopefully when you get some results, let me know so I can make sure to keep checking in on you. But hopefully we're going to keep you entertained for the next half an hour, 45 minutes here as we try to push through because we're only about 20, 30 minutes into this movie and it's a 2-hour movie.
Damn. That's why we don't talk about Batman on this show.
Yeah, sorry.
No. So we then get Ruffalo, Natasha, and Captain America all on the edge, and all of a sudden she's like, "All right, guys, we got to go in." And you start hearing them like make it like it's going to start going down, and Bruce Banner looks at everybody and goes, "Me in a pressurized environment? You guys must be crazy." And then they look over. It's the helicarrier getting ready to take off out of the water. Just absolutely phenomenal work here.
Also, again, Mark Ruffalo's little acting bits that he does, like when he's walking around, he's like paranoid from the fighter pilots too.
Yeah.
Like I said, because he's been running this entire time. Mark Ruffalo, he's a great actor, is what I gotta say.
He really is. Mark Ruffalo is a star in this movie. Everybody meets Nick Fury. We go ahead and get Mark Ruffalo going to do his job finding the cube. He seems to be concerned because he thinks that they have a more of a purpose to have him here, and they're like, "No, as soon as you find the cube, you're gone. We don't want to house you. We don't want to hurt you. We want nothing to do with that. All we need is for you to find the cube, and you're free to go."
I call bull.
Bullshit.
I will say,
yeah.
Once Fury tries to go get the cube, Fury does not try to get the Hulk to do anything. In Fury's defense, Fury never tries to get the Hulk to do anything the rest of the movie other than find the cube. Hulk does things the rest of the movie, but not at the behest or anything that has to do with Fury doing any of the things.
It's true. It is true. Yeah, I can't argue that point.
Like, I understand. Like, they may have had an ulterior motive to hope that he'd be part of the Avengers team, but nothing Fury does in this movie shows us that there was any more. And they had the cell there just in case.
Yeah, very true.
They never lead him to the cell. They never tell him that it's for him. The only implication that it's for him is that when they have Loki in the cell, they say that it was built for something much stronger than you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then we get the scene in Germany. This is fantastic. I love this. This is Loki at his best. He goes ahead and takes the little thing and sticks it in
the guy's eye.
Oh, it's so good. So gross, but so like cool at the same goddamn time.
You don't see it. You don't actually see him doing it, but
nope.
I know
from afar, it's still disturbing.
It's still squirmy, even just knowing what it's supposedly doing.
Yeah.
Like, because like you see it on the Hawkeye end, you see like the eyes slowly being built on the other side,
and you're like,
oh, and you hear the sound, and everybody's screaming and running, and he's just looking down, and his hand is like quivering a little bit. Like,
very true.
They do such a good job of telling you what's going on without being graphic, and it's delightful. We then have the scene of him outside in the square in Germany where he uses the 4 illusions to go ahead and make like a barrier, and he makes everybody bow. And he starts giving his monologue about freedom being the eternal prison of all humanity. And how if you don't have freedom, you truly would be free. And isn't this how you naturally are? And then he goes, and one old man stands up, and he goes, look to your, I believe the old man says, there will always be men like you.
Because he's been through it.
Never been like me.
Well, he said, "I've seen men like you."
Yeah,
like World War II and all that.
Yeah.
Also, I seriously thought that old man was Hector Salamanca from Breaking Bad, but it wasn't. It was some different actor. Yeah. But he looks so much like him.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
And then, as soon as he's about to get blasted, as Loki says, "Look to your elders, everybody." Loki goes to blast him with the scepter. In comes Captain America, and again, the greatness of quipping in this movie, where Captain America goes, The last time I was in Germany and saw a man standing over everybody else, me and him didn't get along very well.
Yeah.
Good
Again,
line. Good line.
I like the quips there. And again, everybody standing there thinks, oh, he's talking about Hitler, but really he's talking about the Red Skull.
Yeah. Red Skull. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Hitler was in the background, but it's Red Skull.
Well, no, Hitler was the face of it all, and Red Skull was in the background doing all the dirty work.
But he fought Red Skull, is what I'm saying, and Hitler was in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back to the movie for 2 seconds because there's a fantastic moment in this where we see the first appearance of Iron Man with everybody else. And I turned the volume on for this one because you need the volume for this one.
You miss me?
So good.
Just so Iron Man. Awesome.
Coming in to Shoot the Thrill by AC/DC, you can't. That just That's a song for the start of Iron Man 2, isn't it? When it comes into the Stark Expo.
Yeah, and he takes over the PA of the Quinjet to do it, so everybody can hear it. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just something in his head; like he has it so that everybody can hear it because he's that much of a diva.
He is the Hulk Hogan of it all.
He's
like, look at me. He's like, look at me. I'm play my music.
He's the billionaire playboy philanthropist guy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that line. We then have Shakespeare in the Park where Loki and Thor are going at it, and then after he's stolen Loki from the Quinjet, and then Iron Man comes down and he gets blasted, and we see that it powers up the suit, which will come back as a callback when we get to Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So as we talked about Endgame in the pre-chat. Oh no, that was not live on the air, was it? I forget. Either way,
we talked about it somewhere.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Dust of mother wears mother's drapes.
Yeah. And there's this great scene between the three of them as the three of them start to fight. And it's just the action in this is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they've done a lot to set this movie up in 48 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like we have a plot, we have a premise. The team's not put together yet, and they won't be till the very end of this movie. But they've done such a good job at giving everybody something to do.
Yeah. Everybody gets whatever they have to do. Like I that's what I'm amazed about this movie. Like everybody gets their shine. Is what I'm saying. Like everybody gets to do something.
Yep. With the exception of Hawkeye, as always.
Well, Hawkeye has his moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They then convince Thor to come with them to let them take Loki, and that they'll give him back once they find the Tesseract. And they have the scene where Thor is at the table, and it's him, Natasha, Tony, Bruce, and Captain America, and it's just fantastic. This is where we get the famous eye roll meme, where Tony rolls his eyes. This is also with the I get that reference meme.
Yep.
Both of these things come here.
Wasn't it? It's a Wizard of Oz reference, right?
No.
Yes.
No. Monkeys.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, the monkeys, flying monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a reference to Wizard of Oz? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you have flying monkeys in there. Fly, my
you
monkeys,
didn't know?
fly.
Ed didn't know the reference.
I did not know the reference. I'm not a Wizard of Oz fan. It's one of my least favorite movies of all time.
Really?
I can't stand the Wizard of Oz. I can't stand it.
It's not a good movie, but I've seen it. I've seen multiple versions of it.
I've seen multiple versions of it, and I hate every version of it. I've never enjoyed it.
There's multiple versions of it? I thought there was only one.
No, there's a couple. There's a couple versions of the Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
yes, yeah. I understand. If unfollow block.
No, just Ed's account. You keep following Ollie. You keep following me. You keep following Andreas. Just Ed.
All right. I'm going to really put myself out there. There are two movies that everybody considers absolute must-haves that I can't stand watching, and one I've never seen. And ironically, one of them involves a wrestler. I've never once seen from start to finish The Princess Bride.
Okay.
I have no desire.
But again,
Everybody tells me it's the
I don't
greatest
fault
thing.
you.
I'm like, no.
I don't fault you for that one because that is not a movie that everybody wants to watch. I watched it because I'm a big Carrie Ellis fan.
Yeah.
That's why I watched it. But
And Andre the Giant in there because he was great.
He's-
And Billy Crystal, like, good luck storming the castle.
And it's my favorite movie ever. I thought you were cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, I understand why people like The Wizard of Oz. It's not.
I've never seen Gremlins.
I finally saw Gremlins 4 years
I've
ago.
seen Gremlins. I haven't seen. What's the other one with Chunk? The Goonies.
Never saw it either.
Never seen Goonies. I never seen any Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween movies.
Oh, Ashton's not going to be happy with you. You're never going to be on Killer Cuts.
I want to watch them. I just never had the time to.
All right. Well, at least you want to. That's
I'm into it. I just have. I seen Freddy versus Jason and all that. Those are great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh no. I feel like there is so much wrong with this conversation.
Where is Astrid? I need an adult.
I need an adult.
I've never. Mel is very mad at me for never seeing Emperor's New Groove or.
All right,
How have you not seen Emperor's New Groove?
Or
We
Nightmare Before
we
Christmas?
have to try to focus on the Avengers again. I've done
Sorry,
something wrong
yeah.
here. I've done something
Yeah,
wrong.
no worries.
All right. We then have Tony in the sciencey portion of the Science Bros, which I adore. The Science Bros talking about all the
so
science
good.
stuff.
So good, bro. Science Bros. I love it.
Science Bros.
The way
Yeah.
they play off each other is so good.
Also,
And I love Tony's rationale for the Hulk is such a cool rationale about how it should have killed him.
Yeah.
But instead the Hulk saved him. And he's like, you should be thankful for this. It's a part of you that you need to embrace as opposed to being something that you have to be afraid of. And I love that that's starting what we're going to find out happened in the time of the snap that we don't see when they build the place in Mexico that we see in She-Hulk.
Great show.
Oh, that movie. Okay.
Great show.
It was a decent, but okay. It's watchable.
Alex, the Exo guy, Emperor's New Groove. Who's she? If you want to see more of Alex and Andre and also Bobby Munson, please go check out from Monday night. They reviewed the Frozen Empire Ghostbusters 2. So definitely go ahead and check that out. The new movie that just opened for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Sorry, also was Tony Stark and Mark and Bruce Banner talking in the science room. You know, Robert Downey Jr., it wasn't in the script that he's eating all the time. So that's all improvised whenever he's eating stuff and giving a treat to Banner. And he's just looking at it like, yeah, I'll have one.
Yeah.
Doing his best Brad Pitt impression.
Yeah, Brad Pitt eats in every movie.
Yep. When most food in movies is not actually food. Yes, those two have both been Ophelia, Alex, what popular movies have you never seen? These three are the worst. I don't know why we're including Andreas in this. I don't think Andreas has a list nearly as bad as me and Andre.
Never seen the Goonies.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, how old, what age range are you? 30 to 35, 35 plus, 20 to 29?
We're
Over
both
35
plus.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
35 plus,
You probably
yeah.
should have seen the Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot. Alex is a movie buff. Him and his wife watch a ton of movies. No, not you, Ophelia. No, you never ask a woman her age. No, I would never do that to you. Okay, if you say so. I'm sure you're not, but we'll just go with it.
Back to the
Anyways,
Future.
moving
I'm
back to-
old.
Back to the Avengers. We then get the scene between Nick Fury and Loki, where they play off the opposite side now of the ant boot analogy, as Loki's in the cell, and he opens up the bottom, and he's like, "Ant boot." He points to the machine to just drop Loki thousands of feet into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
All of this builds to the moment where Hawkeye gets ready to attack the ship.
But then we got to talk about the scene of everybody fighting in the room, because that's what pretty much.
Oh yeah,
that's where I'm getting to right now.
Okay, yeah, because that pretty much just sets up phase 2.
It does. So we're gonna stop this every 5 or 10 seconds, I think, so we don't get in too much trouble. But we are gonna play this
can talk over it too.
a little bit. Yeah, we can talk over it actually. Yeah, it makes good sense.
As long as you provide commentary, yeah, but don't play it too long.
Yeah, but again, it
for the signature now. When we hit a hit, we'll have the location within half a mile.
Yeah, let me get your cube back. No muss. No fuss.
What is phase 2?
Phase 2. That's the line that sets it up too.
Yeah, they're literally like commenting on what is coming next. It's so
okay. That's what that was. All right.
And wait, it gets even better. I'm actually going to put the subtitles on so we can all see it in case we can't hear it, because it's quiet on my end. I don't know how quiet it is for everybody else.
But again, he calls this whole sequence is just utter perfection of acting.
No,
and just
don't do that. Shit.
Yeah, don't worry. Just don't worry about it, Ed. But again, it's utter perfection of acting, and again, it sets up, because it references Genius Playboy Philanthropist, which is what what are you without the suit, and that's Iron Man 3. Threat Watch, I guess, would be sort of
Winter Soldier one, Captain America Winter Soldier. Yeah,
it's that everybody's on Threat Watch because of the Hydra invasion.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Again, it's all those little things that just, and it comes to and he's got the scepter in his hand, and you're like, oh, and I don't know, everything kind of just works so good. Yeah, as Alex said, the camera work on that scene was just utter perfection, man.
Yes, it so was.
Built one of the greatest.
What is phase 2? The darker movies of the MCU.
Now. They may be darker, but they're not the worst movies of the MCU. Because most of my top 5 of the MCU, some of it resides in phase 2.
Me too.
Yeah, For the Dark World.
That's a terrible movie.
For the Dark World was terrible.
Yeah. That's shite.
It is true, yeah. Other than that, that's all I can think of right now. But Guardians of the Galaxy was great. But anyway, back to Avengers here.
Yeah. So then they all go their separate. So this is where Hawkeye takes the ship. He starts all the infighting. Captain America and Iron Man try to go work on the outside rotor. You have Black Widow and Hulk got dropped down multiple levels, and Hulk starts hulking out. So now she's running away from him, and then it ends up with Hulk versus Thor. And we have that great scene.
Yeah.
He knocks him out with the Mjolnir, like
uppercuts him with Mjolnir, just wham, and you see Hulk just like
slow motion.
Oh, so good.
And Hulk tries to pick up Mjolnir, and he's not even worthy to pick it up.
Yep. And then the death of Philip Coulson.
Yes.
The death of Philip Coulson.
Well,
I've never seen Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so you can spoil it for me. Like, is he a robot? What is he?
He comes back. They bring him back to life.
They bring him back to life with Skrull technology. Not Skrulls.
Kree technology. Okay.
Use Kree blood to bring him back to life. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, really pain. I've never seen
a Marvel movie.
Okay. Yeah, right. Bull crap.
I like how we're all giving like honest, like I haven't seen opinions. He's just like, I've never seen a Marvel movie. I think everybody's accidentally seen a Marvel movie at one point or another.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we start getting to the battle. Loki gets back out. He goes back. He uses the Stark Tower to power the Tesseract to go ahead and open the portal.
Wait. You kind of skipped a scene, didn't you? Or not?
Probably. I'm trying to get towards the end of the movie because
what did we skip? What did we skip? They fought. Loki got away.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Yeah. I was just confused.
Thor gets dropped in the thing.
Sorry. My bad.
No, like I said, we kind of briefly talked about how they all do their things and then they all go in their own way.
And then this is where they get Hawkeye back too. He's in that battle because when he's fighting with what's her face. She puts him down with that karate chop to the head.
That happened.
There is one more thing that we need to talk about. Hold on, I stopped sharing by accident, and I want to. We do have the emotional call to action.
Yeah, really, it helped revitalize these guys and make them the stars they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and then we get and then once they figure out, oh, it's Stark Tower they're using.
I have relapsing MS. But
Whoa, what the heck out of here just there?
Commercial.
It's a commercial because I'm still sharing.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to pay for the full price of Disney Plus in the States.
So no, to let people in on it, I have ads on my Disney Plus because I have the Hulu Live TV plan with commercials.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I have Hulu Live TV, so I don't have to pay for a cable bill. So it comes with Disney Plus. I had a Disney Plus no commercials plan before.
Oh, if it comes with it, yeah.
Disney Plus comes with this. I was like, well, instead of paying the $30 to get rid of commercials, I'll just keep the commercials for the little bit that I get of them.
That's very true. But yeah, like, and again, having him realize
Ed is an American. More importantly, Ed's a masshole. I live in Massachusetts.
Masshole. All right.
He explains why it's my favorite movie.
Well, he didn't say he hated it. He said he's never seen Princess Bride.
No, I think she's talking about Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I don't like it either, but I don't hate it. It's not one of my favorites. But yeah, when they get I love when Stark gets to Stark Tower, and he. Oh, she is saying Oz. Okay. Andreas shunned the non-believers. Yeah. I get it. It's a story. But like just him walking in and starts like because he is all in his fucked up suit trying to fly to the thing. You see him after trying to get the rotator started, and just walking in and starting to have the conversation with Loki is absolutely tremendous. It really is, and I don't know. I love that whole little speech that he gives, and then I don't know.
Astrid, welcome back.
The adults back in the chat. All right, we all have to behave ourselves now. The adults back.
Can't badmouth movies anymore.
Yeah. Ophelia, Astrid's back. You can go ahead and have her protect you. It's okay. And then we get the third act action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And just perfection. Like, this is great. I mean, considering it's 2012.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how many times have we come back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to this moment?
Many times.
The battle.
You know, the Chosen One is somewhere in the city fighting off the Chitauri, and there's a young Kate Bishop.
Yeah, I was gonna be. She's gonna jump off the building.
Yeah.
You just there's so many. There's a scene. There's when they come back in Endgame to go and then go find the time stone. There's so many, and then his Hulk going, "Rah!" You know, there's two Hulks in the city. All these little things that just utter perfection. That this, and again, this scene, like the fights throughout are so good. The way Cap assembles the Avengers and then starts telling them where to go, and then Thor and Hulk taking down the big weird flying serpent thing, and then Hulk just punching Thor off of it.
Yeah, because of their earlier fight.
There's so much good in here.
Get angry.
Also, there's a time paradox in here because when they capture Loki escapes because the Avengers go back in time, and Loki goes to the TVA. It's really confusing if you really think about it.
That timeline's been pruned.
Yeah, I guess.
Look at this again. The Hulk transformation when he shows up is utter perfection. Then just
I'm always angry.
Huge monster. For those that don't know, we have it on in a little thing in the room so that we can see it, and because I'm using it. And then here's the shot.
I love this shot.
The shot of the movie.
The greatest shot the entire time.
It's I don't know. It's just utter perfection. And you know, Kate Bishop's in one of those buildings there.
In one of those destroyed buildings, and
yeah, I know. It's just there's so much good in this. This scene.
You all are beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature. I will not be bullied.
Wrecked.
Fact just wrecks him.
Like the voice is a mixture of Lou Ferrigno and Mark Ruffalo.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Lou Ferrigno, so it was both their voices combined.
Eventually it just becomes Mark's, but like
yeah.
It's such a great just seeing this wham 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 wham. And then they go and finish, and then again, you get the climax of him having to use take the nuke into the portal, and then having to close the portal, and then just after is them coming back and Loki's still laying there.
Yes, because he got knocked out. And also the first time Tony Stark actually wants to sacrifice himself, one of the many times, which is quite a character development for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
and this is because of what it's fueled by what Cap said. You know, when he's describing,
you'll never lay down on the line. I would rather cut it. Like it's that line. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a perfection of it where Tony's only thinking about doing this because of what Cap said, that he's not the one to make the sacrifice play, that he won't do the things that need to be done.
Mm.
Oh, and one more thing about Tony Stark was his character development. Like back in like the helicarrier when Tony Stark's like saying like, am I the only one that read the notes? Because like he's truly in love with Pepper Potts because he was such a man whore before that.
Yeah.
He actually listens to Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
That was a great line right there.
He actually did his homework. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he was the only one that had homework because they wouldn't have given Cap all that homework.
Yeah.
Like, they would have given Cap the files on the people, but it wouldn't have been nearly what Tony had because Tony had to do all the science.
Yes.
And Banner, all they would have given him was the information he needed for the Tesseract. And then like so on and so forth. And then
Which we see in this movie, if you zoom in, talks about the Tesseract, talks about Mephisto.
Where do they talk about Mephisto?
So if you when Fury has the Tesseract file out that he shows Captain America, if you stop and zoom, there's a line in there that talks about Mephisto.
Oh damn! Okay, so no wonder everybody's always saying
things that like Eric Voss finds on New Rockstars, which we adore.
Rockstars guy, yeah.
But there is technically a line that talks about Mephisto when it comes to the Space Stone.
So this is where everybody starts saying like, "Oh, Mephisto is going to show up, but he doesn't show up." Just annoys the hell out of me. These fans saying, "Oh, Mephisto's going to be in this."
No, so it's Kevin Feige putting in little things that he
Easter
can
eggs
do later.
Yeah,
like in Avengers: Age of Ultron, he mentions Wakanda because he knows he's planning to do Black Panther. He goes ahead and has it on the screen in one of the other movies when they have the screen of the world and they have the different locations for the underground volcanoes. And there's one off the coast of Wakanda because originally they were going to do Atlantis before they realized they couldn't do Atlantis. And they had to change it to Tehuacan for Black Panther 2.
Okay. Also in Captain America.
He was going to be an Atlantean like he was in the comics.
Yeah.
But they had to change it because they didn't want to do Atlantis. They don't want to confuse it with Aquaman.
Right.
So they do something separate.
Yep. Again, great. Again, the battle sequence at the end is just so much great like stuff. The tag team moves. There's that Hawkeye and Black Widow were doing again. Then the sacrifice fight, and it's like you're like, yeah. And then him just making it back through that portal is just like, yeah. And
then the greatest end credit scenes in all of Marvel, shawarma.
Because
they had to go back and redo, like they had to shoot this later on in months because
that's why his hand, Captain America's hand, is over his face because he has a beard.
Because he was filming Snowpiercer at that time.
Yeah, he was on Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Great
movie.
That was filmed days before the premiere, if I remember correctly, from what I've seen online. I believe that was filmed days before the premiere.
Yep.
Also, there's a line. Sorry.
Marvel's The Avengers. Andre, me and you, we're going to go ahead and do this. Andreas, you can go ahead and tell us where this ranks on your own personal list. Me and Andre are doing our.
I told him in advance to rank the phase one.
All right.
Rank the
So
phase
we'll
one.
go ahead and let Andreas do his first.
Okay, so
phase one.
Number one.
Bottom to top. No, go bottom to top. Where's
bottom
the best?
to top from best to worst?
No, from worst to best.
Yeah,
worst to best. Okay. I have to go with Iron Man 2 as like the worst. That's the yeah. It was okay, not the best. Incredible Hulk, decent, but still not the best because Edward Norton, he did a great job, but could have been more. 4, great. I enjoyed it. Like he's in the middle for me. Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Iron Man, and then the Avengers. Yeah. I would go with that.
Yeah, dude. Except for Iron Man 2 and Hulk, I have flipped. You and me have the same order. Yeah, nice.
And of course, obviously, this tops my list as of right now.
Yeah.
So my list will go Iron Man. It'll go Avengers, Captain America, the First Avenger, Iron Man. Yeah. I have a soft spot for Captain America, the First Avenger. I think that movie is. I think it's the best movie of phase one from start to finish movie. I think the Avengers is a culmination of so many storylines that it doesn't quite classify in that list. Like it's something different because it's a team up.
Yeah.
And Iron Man, while it holds the third spot because it's a great movie in and of itself, it's not flawless from beginning to end. It has some flaws in between. Whereas I think Captain America is a more flawless, more perfect movie.
I still like it better.
But
I still like Iron Man better.
What does Rotten Tomatoes think, gentlemen? So here we go. Rotten Tomatoes, The Avengers. The critic score, 368 critical reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Where do we rank?
So it's a percentage again, right?
Percentage from 1 to 100.
So for the Avengers, they got 368%?
No, 368 reviews. What percent of the audience, or what percent of the critics do you think gave it a positive review?
For the Avengers, 90%?
I'm going to go 93.
Well, Andreas wins the Price is Right game. It's 91%.
Ooh, win by a point.
I win.
No, you went over.
You did.
I went over.
You went over, and you're 2 off, whereas he's only 1 off. So you lose.
Yeah, I had the rules backwards in my head, and I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Audience score out of 250,000 plus reviews. Audience score for the Avengers.
98%? I'm
gonna go 95.
You're both over 91. Double 91s.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's actually surprising.
Yep. Double 91s on Marvel's The Avengers as far as this goes. The average critic score for this is, it's not giving me
80, 75% around there. Average critic score.
It's supposed to give me something, but I'm not seeing it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. All right. Now we go to box office. All right. Box office. What do we think for worldwide box office?
I think this is one of the movies. This is over $1 billion movie. I know that. I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I would have to say. What did Endgame have? Okay, never mind. Endgame
Endgame is 2-point-something billion. I'll give you that one for free.
2-point-something billion.
Yeah.
1.85 billion.
1.4. I'm gonna go.
Andre C is closer with $1.519 billion.
Okay, all right.
$1.5 billion. Nice.
U.S. and Canada did 623.4 million, while worldwide, the rest of the world did 895.5 million.
Damn.
To the HBC, who changed the channel? What's up, gentlemen? We appreciate it. Thank you for jumping in. We're at the end of our MCU Rebound episode here.
Oh,
this
can I just mention
at the time?
Oh, hold on, Andreas.
Sorry.
Sorry, can I just mention like the other end credit scene where like the other is talking to Thanos? Did you catch that one line? And he goes like, "It's something goes to Thanos like courting death, and Thanos smiles.
Yeah.
It's like in the comics, he actually is trying to get a date or get with death.
Yeah.
To destroy everything. I
And
like
I
that
think-
little line there.
And I think because again they probably hadn't developed what they were going to do with Thanos quite
Yep.
yet, and
Yeah.
and again they probably hadn't developed. That they're going to do their version of Thanos versus death. They're probably trying to introduce the thought of death into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanos was originally the second villain. They were going to do the reason why Thanos gets introduced here is because originally the second Avengers movie was going to be Thanos.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Kevin Feige says that originally when this movie was shot, the reason why they show Thanos at that point is because they had anticipated on doing him in phase 2. They pushed him back to phase 3 when they saw how well things were going and that they could slow play this a little bit further.
I think they did. They definitely made the right decision.
They made the right choice. Unlike DC, who bring it in Darkseid way too soon.
We also want to talk about this movie set many records when it came to the box office. It was the highest opening weekend for any film at the time with $207 million in the United States. Its opening first week opened at $270 million. The opening weekend adjusted for ticket pricing went to $207.4 million. It had a theatrical average and wide release at 47,698 for average tickets sold per theater for this movie.
Wow.
The 3D gross opening did $108 million. The IMAX gross opening did $15.3 million during the opening weekend. The second weekend for any film, it reached a record at $103 million. It had the monthly share of domestic earnings of 52% in May of 2012.
Okay.
It accounted for 52% of all domestic movie ticket sales in the month of May.
Wow. That's pretty big.
Highest cumulative gross between days 2 and 43.
Damn. All right.
The number of days it took to reach $100 and $150 million was 2 days.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
This is the astronomical number. To reach 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, and $450 million. These are the number of days it took to reach those numbers. 3, 6, 9, 10, 14, and 17.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay.
In
Yeah.
17 days, this movie grossed $450 million.
Listen.
Well,
In 2012.
Well, it was the biggest movie to date during that time until Endgame showed up. Because this was the first
actually,
Avengers.
Avatar will eventually knock it out.
Avatar was
What's the same
2 years.
company?
Avatar was 2 years before this.
Okay, it was the third highest. It's the third highest grossing film of all time when it came out.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it was Titanic and Avatar that were above it to begin with.
James Cameron.
Days to reach 500 and 550 million. So remember, we reached 450 in 17 days, right? Took 6 more days to reach 500 million. And to get the next 50 million, it took another week at 31 days.
Jesus
In
Christ.
31 days, this movie hits 550 million.
And you're talking domestic too, right?
These are all domestic numbers.
So that's not even adding in what it was making the rest of the world outside of America. That's insanity, man.
Highest grossing superhero movie at $623 million at the time. And the opening weekend for a superhero movie, and it also held the record for the May opening for a superhero movie.
Wow.
Yeah, we were looking forward to this movie because, man, during that time, everybody was looking forward to this movie.
They had built up such goodwill too with the other movies too. That's part of that.
And also, they put an asterisk in here: days to reach $100 million. It says by the end of its second day, the film's gross exceeded that of all 8 films that had reached $100 million after 2 days.
Okay.
So there are multiple movies that had done that, but this movie did it to a higher extent than all of the other movies who'd ever done it.
Does it mention which movies Did it before?
No, it's an asterisk. I'm sure if I go look at it, I can probably find it.
All right.
Hold on. Let me go to the citation, 218.
Because, Titanic and Avatar, and then Avengers. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's giving me a current list, so I can't tell you. I can tell you the latest numbers on Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire.
Is it that good? I haven't seen it yet.
Ooh.
Not that good?
Alex Ecto Guy, cover your ears for this one. 5-day release. What do you think for Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, Andre?
Like 60 mil.
All right, so you're pleasantly surprised. 68 million worldwide, 52 domestic.
Yeah, but again, that's very much a North American movie if you really think about it.
Yeah, it's 76 to 24% international versus. Yeah, it did.
Bobby saying it is more than anticipated. They weren't expecting. They were only expecting like in the first week to be making like 50 mil. So
then that's good. Then they're doing good. Then it's less than I would have thought it made because it was the number one movie in the States this week. I know that.
Yeah, but what was it up against? Kung Fu Panda. So
Kung Fu Panda 4.
And all the kids had seen that movie already because it made its money in its first week. So.
And Jack Black singing a cover of Britney Spears' "Baby One More Time," which is amazing.
And Andreas, I know me and Andre talked about this last time we did an MCU, but I want to go ahead and go over this list for you. Of the top 15 highest grossing movies of all time, currently, the current list for the highest grossing movies of all time, Marvel has Avengers Endgame at number 2, Spider-Man No Way Home at number 3, Black Panther at number 6, Avengers Infinity War at number 8, and the Avengers at number 12.
Okay.
So as of right now, that 623 million, that puts it at the 12th highest domestic gross of all time.
Which 12 years later still stands up is pretty good.
Yeah, especially for that time. Yeah.
It is, however,
it still holds up
on this list. The oldest movie on that list would be Avatar, which is at number 4 now. That doesn't.
It's
worldwide. But worldwide, Avatar is number 1.
Yeah,
but Disney wins in the end because they have Avatar and Marvel, so they're all getting money anyway. They're getting money either way.
Yeah, it's all their money.
It's all their money, so it's Disney all around.
All right, Mr. Andreas, go ahead and tell the people where we can find you and all the things that you do out here on the internet.
All right, internet land. I'm over at my YouTube channel, Humanoid Freak, but it's now shortened to Humanoid. I got a TikTok with the same name. I got a Twitch with the same name, which I'm finally doing things on there after having it for like 6-7 years.
Good job.
Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, all of them was the same name all over. So you can find me in those 5 places.
Awesome. To update people on what we've got coming up for Marvel Talk, me and Andre have decided that in 2 weeks we are going to do the next installment, which will be Iron Man 3, if I remember correctly.
No. That will be X-Men 97.
Oh, okay.
Episode 5 will debut that day.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if the dates lined up. April 10th, we'll be doing the first 5-episode review of X-Men 97. And then on May 15th, we'll be talking about the final 5 episodes of the season. We're going to break it down. We talked about doing weekly episodes. We didn't think it was a good idea. We'd already planned on doing the Avengers this week as it was.
Yeah.
We're both preparing for very busy weekends next weekend as our local establishment is covering WrestleMania weekend. So we've got shows all weekend for you. Starting Friday, we're going to be live almost all day, every day.
Starting with myself and Mel early in the afternoon on the Japanese Wrestling Update, reviewing the Stardom American Dream Show from April 4th and the Surrey match from the GCW show that starts at 11:59 p.m. on April 4th.
Oh, really? Wait,
yeah, WrestleMania.
Yes, WrestleMania is next weekend.
Night 1 and 2.
You don't watch wrestling on TV, but I know you watch live wrestling because I've seen you tweet about it. I've seen you tweet about the wrestling shows that you go to. We have the pre-show for Stand and Deliver on Friday night. We have the post-show for Stand and Deliver, the pre-show for night one of WrestleMania, and the WrestleMania night one post-show all on Saturday. We'll have Point of View will be on Sunday, and it will be the pre-show for WrestleMania night 2. And then we have the post-show for WrestleMania night 2. We have fantastic, as Ashton says, so much and so many special guests. On the Stand and Deliver post-show, Ashton and I will be joined by Mark Talks Wrestling and Amanda Savage. It's a big WrestleMania weekend. We need that's such a big show. We need 2 guests for that show. So that'll be taking place as soon as Stand and Deliver ends. Around 5:30 or so, you can see me,
Eastern.
Andre C.
Eastern
time, yes.
Eastern.
Me, Andre C. and Ashton Pizarro will be doing our preview of WrestleMania Night 1. After WrestleMania Night 1, come on back here again, as we will be joined by Get the Tables, as they go ahead and join us for the WrestleMania Night 1 post-show. WrestleMania Night 2, the preview show will be Mark Talks Wrestling, Bobby Money Munson, and probably myself. And then, if I still have a voice, WrestleMania Night 2 post-show will be Bobby Munson, Mark Talks Wrestling, myself, and just now, as Ashley says, putting her booking skills to the test, we have now had Stephanie Hardy is going to be joining us for the WrestleMania Night 2 post-show to make sure that we have a bit of diversity on some of these post-shows. So make sure you go ahead and check us out. There are going to be hundreds of shows running this weekend. Support somebody supporting wrestling. And if you can, we'd love it if you could support us. But, Andre C., what do you got coming up the rest of this week?
There will be no Japanese wrestling update this week. I'm very sorry. Just with the schedule for all the wrestling we're hitting up this weekend, very busy, very crazy. So more. There'll be a Stardom review coming out tomorrow. There'll be, and then we'll be coming back this next week with Chop Talks on Andre Melbar. We have Chop Talks. We're gonna have 3. Looking like 3 editions of Chop Talks in the 3 days of shows we're going to. And then
It's an insane week.
And then we're gonna have the Stardom Cinderella Tournament Finals review also on there too. So lots of great content coming out next week, along with so much other stuff. And then we're gonna have, after WrestleMania weekend, we're gonna have our New Japan review for their April 6th show, Sakura Genesis. So much great stuff coming. You can find me on and all my Japanese content, and actually the Love Pro Wrestling Chop Talks will be available on main event, or the Chop Talks will be available at patreon.com/SME Radio. You have to sign up for those if you want to hear them in audio form. But you can hear all the Japanese stuff at sundaysmainevent.com in audio form. And then you can find me on the X at That Canada Guy, on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me and Mel doing all our great content at Andre Melba Wrestling Talk. Or if you want to wait a week, you can go over to Backbreaker Video and watch it over there too.
Mike the Ref is a fantastic friend of the channel who does some fantastic work over there at Backbreaker. We want to show him all the love and support we can. And of course, you know where you can find me. You can find me right there on Twitter at EdFries12584. You can find me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002. Later on this week, I'll probably have some gaming content going up, as I had planned to have some videos go live this week of me playing My Rise, but unfortunately, the files didn't record like I thought they were, so I played 4 hours of My Rise that I recorded that didn't record. So
I've been there before. It sucks.
So you can go ahead and definitely just go ahead and catch me on probably doing some GM mode at some point over the weekend, as it is Easter weekend here. So I'll probably have some time on Sunday evening to go ahead and do that. But for myself, for Andre, for Andreas, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.